Welcome back to episode 11 of the Parts Avatar podcast.
Yep.
We're back to me and Tony for this week's podcast. We have a few guests lined up, but it being kind of the first week of kind of car show season, and everyone's in a little bit of a craze. Everyone's getting spring cleaning done or their cars out. We had to move a few people around, so in the next few weeks we will have some cool podcasts coming up. And stay tuned for those. A few other items of news while we're at the beginning of here, because, we might as well have a segment of news just to kind of like Top Gear does.
Yeah. We don't ever update anybody on these podcasts.
And we might as well.
We do, but not on the podcast. So
yeah, on the audio side of things. But we have released our lines of T-shirts. So our new T-shirts are now live and available at partsavatar.ca/apparel. Or actually, if you look on the homepage, you'll see a very nice picture that Tony took of me and Logan, our Florida model girl. And those are live and available, so you'll see me start wearing them more often, and maybe we'll get Tony to wear some company merch once in a while.
Yeah, I started wearing the Parts Avatar sweaters and stuff, but the problem is I get so dirty when I work on cars that I've already ruined all of those sweaters or T-shirts. Like it's bad. I'll literally just be standing there, fresh, clean Parts Avatar shirt or sweater, and spontaneously a patch of oil will just show up on the sweater. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. So Tony, even when Tony's not working on cars, he'll go to a car show and he'll go look at something and he'll come back with an oil stain. And I'm like, where did you go? And he's like, I don't know. I just touched something.
So that's why like most of my outfits are dark gray or black, because they're always covered in some kind of stain, and I can never get rid of them because oil is the worst to try to.
On Tony's darker shirts, those aren't designs hidden; those are just oil stains.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not. That's how Tony is. And then there's me in my light colored shirts. Like what color would you? This is kind of tealy, right? Or like
pinkish.
Salmon.
Salmon.
Yeah.
Is it a salmon?
I want to say salmon.
Why then teal? Teal is like a mixture of blue and green.
Yeah, but
you said that in the last one, and I was like, what the heck are you talking about?
This is kind of more green, I guess, right? No?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, he's badly colorblind. This is not green at all.
It has a greenish
This
hinge.
is green?
Yeah, it has some green in it.
Oh, no.
It does.
Oh, no, Alex.
It definitely does.
Oh, I feel bad for you. This is so pink, or like, it's almost like beige. But it's not green at all.
It's like beige greeny. There's definitely green in this. Anyways.
It's okay.
TLDR, I am colorblind.
I just learned how bad today. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I bet you he thinks his car is black outside. I didn't even realize.
No, that one is teal.
Okay. Exactly. And you think this is teal?
Different shades of teal.
Okay.
Because like you look at the rally art, that's teal. And you look at the Jetta, that's teal. They're two different teals.
I would say that's like an aquamarine.
The rally art?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more aqua.
Or a turquoise.
Yeah, but it's still teal technically, right?
That's what the color's called. I just don't know what teal is.
Yeah, that's what the color is called. It's called teal.
Teal also brown?
Teal? No, what? The Mitsu's brown?
Because this is almost like, it's not brown, but it's like it's void of color almost. I would say it's more of like a salmon, like a pinkish. Anyways,
I feel bad for all the podcast listeners. Our 3 listeners on Spotify.
Yeah,
shout out to you. I'm sorry we're talking about colors because currently you're more colorblind than me. Yeah, because you don't see anything listening to the podcast.
That's funny.
But anyways, let's get into this week's topic. We're going to talk about car shows and how car shows have kind of died out due to takeovers. The kind of takeover mentality and how it's ruined the car scene. There's lots of people, sadly, that believe takeovers are good, but there's a bigger majority of people that think takeovers are kind of the worst thing to happen to the car community.
So the first thing we'll do is we'll explain what a takeover is if you don't know. You may have seen online on TikTok, social media of some kind. You'll see a group of people come in with a Mustang. It's usually a Mustang, and they'll be
or a Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, or a Dodge Challenger, and they'll be doing burnouts or doing donuts in the middle of or drifting in the middle of the intersection where
well,
it's like
not drifting. Well,
normal.
let's clear that up right
It's
away.
it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
not, it's that's why I did quotation. You
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
on the podcast, but I did
Yeah.
air quotations.
I'm looking out for our 3
Yeah.
Spotify listeners.
Yeah.
I got you,
Yeah.
homies. I got you.
But they think they're drifting. It's not drifting. And they shut down the street and they litter the property. And sometimes people get hit. Sometimes people get injured. I haven't heard of anybody dying, but I'm sure it
people
could
have
happen.
died. People have died.
Okay, so it's just really bad, and it's people associate that with the car community, which most of the car community, they despise that kind of activity.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's kids who take out their cars,
Their parents' cars.
their parents' cars, and they go have a fun time with it, and it's great. But like you're bringing,
it's not great.
Well, it's great to have fun. It's not great to
Like
ruin
you're
a
being
whole
reckless,
community,
destruction of property.
Yeah.
And they make car shows look bad. They make meets look bad because you always have those bunch of bad apples in those meets that want to go do this stuff, right? And to actually give you a little bit more reality, you might not know what we're talking about, but you might. And that's confusing because the people that go to takeovers, they call them slideshows.
No, really?
Yes.
I've never heard that. That's pathetic.
Yeah, they call them because they slide around these intersections.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I can't do what they do, but it's honestly because I wouldn't want to. Like even
Really?
if I had the skill, I wouldn't want to slide around people like that or
So,
slide around in the middle of the
little info on that. It's extremely easy to do.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
like especially like in an automatic, you turn off your traction control, go in circles. In a manual, turn off traction, first gear, second gear, and you just let off the clutch and rip it around in circles.
I
right?
guess you need higher torque to be able to do that.
No, not necessarily. You can do that. You can slide around in a Miata.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Miata's, I don't even have 100 torque on that car.
I've never
right?
tried because, like, honestly, I'm scared to damage my cars.
Like
but-
my first car, obviously, we're not talking to the extent of takeovers, right? But my first car, I had a CLK 320, right? Rear drive, open diff. And being a 16-year-old kid with a rear drive, Mercedes sports coupe, I did a few donuts in parking lots here and there, but I didn't do it like exactly that. I did it in parking lots alone, without other people there, without endangering people, making sure no one was there. And I was doing it for myself to have fun. While you go to these slideshows, these takeovers, people do this for clout. They don't even like cars. They do it just to be recorded. World star, oh my God, check this out. No, it's not about that. It's about having fun. Like the main reason I used to go, and maybe to give a little bit more insight and information on this, like living in Canada, we have snowy weather. We have, unpredictable conditions, right? In the winter, it's always a good idea to go to an empty parking lot and see how your car acts in deep snow, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know in what conditions you'll be driving. Sometimes you need that maneuverability. Sometimes you need stuff. And, me growing up, like my first 2 cars were both rear drive, right? So having a good understanding of how to control a rear drive car in snowy, wet conditions, especially with an open diff, a limited slip differential is very different. An open diff, a welded diff is even more different, right? But an open diff, you have one wheel peels, they act different than an LSD would. So you obviously need to have a feel for your car. So in case you start losing tractions, drifting around, like people think, and just to give maybe more insight on this, like if you're in a rear drive car and in snowy or wet conditions, you lose traction, a lot of people jump on the brakes. And that's the last thing. The last thing you do, because then your wheels can potentially lock up if you don't have ABS. In addition to that, and you'll fly straight into a wall, right? With sometimes with a rear drive car and it being snowy, wet conditions, you lose traction. Giving a little bit more gas to correct it, or just letting off slowly while still having momentum, will correct that slide, right? And people don't know that, so that's why it's a good idea to know how your car drives, learn driving techniques, learn maneuverability. But going to takeovers and taking over a street, interrupting traffic, ruining basically people's day, ruining intersections, it's just not logical. It doesn't make sense. I think it's extremely silly that people would be willing to go out and do this, especially like the whole endangering other people's lives, because as stupid as the people driving the cars are, there's even stupider people running around with iPhones trying to get as close to the cars as they can. And I
they
think
get tanked. I love it. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get
It's-
walloped. Like,
You know what I will say, baseball fans, if you like baseball, some great hits you'll see on these takeover videos because people will get slit into and whoop bam, dude. Is that home run? Home run? Oh, he's not going home for sure. I'll tell you that.
I saw Buddy do a backflip once because he got hit so hard.
Dude, I saw some dude get hit and his pants go flying off.
I saw that. You know,
Yeah.
it was good.
That one is.
And those are the types of people that are going to takeovers.
They don't even know how to use a
You
belt.
can't wear a belt. You know, you can't control a car.
What's that one? It's from Nardwar. It's like was it Travis? I think it was Travis. It's like how do you keep your pants up? And he's like, belt. You should look that up. It's a funny meme.
Yeah, okay.
Have you seen Nardwar videos?
Maybe not.
Okay,
Maybe, I don't
Nardwar
know.
that's another story.
I don't know the name of them, but yeah, maybe.
So this is a more of an American thing. Like they started in LA. That's where the term slideshow came from because it was an LA thing or a California thing, and it was these certain groups were doing these. And it's honestly when it came to Canada, it kind of had the same jive and the same vibe because the people at these takeovers with these cars were typically clap G35s, base model Mustangs, their dads or mom's Charger,
stock GLKs. Like,
GLKs.
I saw a GLK a couple times.
GLK is the SUV Mercedes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all-wheel drive.
I know.
Oh
I've
damn,
seen
Jesus
people-
Christ.
Yeah.
And like most of the time, there's like other cars
Or
that come in.
U-Haul. A lot of people take out U-Haul.
I've seen those U-Haul trucks.
Those are funny though.
for
see,
for
but
$19.99. You can rent this.
you can slide in the middle of an intersection. We
and-
don't condone any of this, by the way, but I've been to some, and
I haven't,
maybe
no.
Alex hasn't been, but I've seen them. I've been to them, but I don't condone it. There's safer ways to do what they're doing, and I'll go into that later, later in the podcast. But what they're doing and what people in America are doing, it's just not safe.
No, and I
stupid.
can dive way deeper into this because like I'm from a different mentality because I help run car shows, right? You know, for a good chunk of my car enthusiast life, you could say, I'm known as Alex Driven Show, right? I've been one of the main guys from Driven.
He's
at
still
least
Alex Driven in my phone.
Yes, there you go.
I know
right?
him personally.
Yeah, and in the scene, like at least on the East Coast, I'm pretty well known and associated still with the Driven Show. Obviously, I'm Parts Avatar Alex now, but I'm still to a lot of people known as one of the Driven guys. Seeing this stuff, it's such a bad look because it makes other shows look bad, and that's kind of the last thing we want to. So. Like when I start seeing stuff like that happen, like sometimes even at La Paloma, people will start doing burnouts and stuff. And that's when I'm like, get in the car and I leave. Right.
Yeah. As soon as you start seeing people do stupid stuff, that's when you leave before
The
the
cops
cops show up. Because
Yeah.
when the cops show up, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of tint on your window. They'll pull you over just for being there.
Yeah. They'll find any excuse.
So you got to
be
escape
there.
as soon as that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like my car, like when I'm driving, because I'm on air suspension and stuff like that, like I try to make my car look as legal as possible, right? Not that my car has lots of illegal stuff on it, but I'm trying to make it not too attention grabby, right? That's my thing too.
Yeah.
But my real life example is the main reason Driven does not go back to Montreal. The last time we had Driven Montreal at Détron. So the mall complex in Brossard, in Quebec, just outside Montreal, basically within the limits of Montreal, I'd basically say. There was, Driven is a show where you get screened and you get accepted or denied, right? And even with Driven, it's like, sure, we'll take some empty space over having clapped cars in our show.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's a lot of guys that get mad, and in
I've seen it.
2022 or 2021 was the last time we did Driven Montreal. What happened was a lot of the kids that didn't get in started doing a takeover right outside the Driven show.
Oh, no.
And it got associated with us, and the cops gave us the freaking bill for this takeover.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's
And the worst part is, and I honestly don't care, the Montreal cops did nothing. They stood there, they looked. The biggest useless waste of money. And honestly, like, I don't even feel bad saying this. Like, I'm typically, I don't have anything against cops, but the cops stood there, they did nothing. And then at the end of the night, we're cleaning up, and one of the other driven guys, Steven, he went and he vaped. And there was apparently there was a sign somewhere that said no vaping. The cop came, tried to give him a ticket. And I started bad mouthing the cop right there, staring at him in the face, right? And they came to me, they're like, "Oh, chill out." And I'm like, "No, these cops, they won't do anything about the takeovers. They'll sit, look, and they're gonna send us a bill after, but they'll come to one of our guys that are cleaning up the show." He was literally cleaning, and they'll try to give him a ticket. And then the cop ended up not giving him a ticket, and told me to wash my mouth, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, he didn't get a ticket. Because if that's the problem, see, they'll go after people that are defenseless, but because there's a big crowd of lots of people, the cops won't do anything, right? And that makes it even worse because, sure, after the event, they sent out about 250 tickets to people.
Yeah.
So these people got the tickets, it's on their license, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't stop them there. And as they're endangering other people, sliding around, people getting too close to cars, people get hurt, then the fingers are going to be pointed at the cops for not doing something. Do something.
I think
right?
there might be a reason that cops don't interfere until after the fact.
Well,
and
they don't want to.
It's because they don't want to cause a.
They
panic.
don't want to escalate more, right?
Yeah.
But
if they have to get into a chase, in the middle of all this, I see cops do their job, but I see it after the problem's been happening.
Yeah.
So they'll wait until that car has calmed down.
Yeah.
And then they'll go chase him instead of chasing him when he's all riled up. So I kind of understand.
Yeah, but at the same time, with that situation, it's
for them to come and ticket your buddy is what the
and
heck?
one of the staff members too.
Yeah.
Right? Still in a staff shirt, cleaning up. Dude, come on.
That's useless.
I get if he gave him a warning, but he takes out his ticket book ready to write him a ticket.
He didn't even give him a warning?
No. Went straight for the ticket book. And that's why I started bad mouthing, right?
I was bored.
You have better things to do. You can still hear exhaust in the distance. Go chase after them. Go do something else. And they still sent us a bill, right?
Well, we could have a whole conversation about how
So that made, and
really.
that's exactly why Driven has not come back to Montreal. People always ask the question, "Oh, why aren't you coming back to Montreal?" It's scorched earth.
And that's the thing. All it takes is a few idiots doing stupid things in the middle of intersections or shutting down parking lots or whatever to ruin an entire community's fun and civilized fun.
Yeah. And that goes back to it, right? Because then people are like, "Oh, why don't you come back?" It's like, A, we had a total loss at the show. B, it left a bad image on us because now other people, because Détran is a mall, right?
Yeah.
So there was people there, kind of like at Square One, right?
Yeah.
Where they had no idea what was going on, and they would associate Driven with a takeover already, right? So it looks bad on us. It made us look money, and the
lose
fact
money.
Lose money. Yeah. What did I say?
Look money.
Oh, we lost money. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm getting. Where the heck did I put my water bottle?
Take your water. Yeah.
Did I even? Frick! I lost. my water
Go
bottle.
get some water if you want. I can.
Oh no! I found my water bottle.
Oh, you got it. It's right there.
It's right here.
Perfect.
Oh boy.
For the listeners, the podcasters, it was right under the table, right in front of him.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Gulp.
Some ASMR.
Some ASMR gulps.
So yeah, we don't really condone that, and it makes everybody looks bad. But I will tell you, there is a way to have fun without endangering people, without causing damage, without creating a bad image. And again, it's not completely legal, but it did happen. I've been to a couple of these get-togethers, and everyone went home safe. Everyone had a good time. It was whatever. So it started off with the runs, and that's a specific thing. You're basically running from the police to different locations. That's not the runs, but that's how they that's what the runs is now.
Yeah.
So you're
the
racing
runs
on different
used to
locations.
Be street racing in Mississauga for that. If people don't know, there was a certain area within the Mississauga city limits near the airport where it was a no-fly zone, so police choppers weren't able to follow people around. They found this as a loophole, but that was a thing from like the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And it went on for basically 3 decades until it got ruined in recent years as well because
It adapted to
takeovers.
something really dumb.
Yeah, it adapted to something really dumb, right? It didn't leave a good image. And to further the point of it ruining it for other people, people complain about the new traffic laws that even on private property now you can't do a burnout, you can get a ticket. That wouldn't have happened if takeovers didn't happen, because before it used to be completely legal. You could be on your own property at your house, you can do a burnout on your driveway. Now you can't.
Really?
Yes.
They would just allow you to do a burnout on your driveway?
It wouldn't look good, but yeah, it was your property. But now you
I
can't.
can't imagine that. Imagine just a whole community, like a whole neighborhood of street racers or people with modified cars.
Keep in mind, this is for like even bigger properties. Let's say you have a big plot of land.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's say like you build your own racetrack. You can't do that anymore. You need written consent. This, that.
Okay.
It's it's gotten to that point where you can't even enjoy things on your own property, right? Obviously, it's something like that would not fly in the United States of America, right? Because they're more focused on freedom. They have different amendments and things like that.
Yeah.
But here, it's so sad that they had to instate laws like that. And I will agree with the people that it's feeling like a police state when we have laws like that. But it's hard to argue when there's people that are doing such stupid things, making other members of the community, other, enthusiasts look bad, true enthusiasts, because there's lots of enthusiasts that have left the scene due to takeovers, due to these, ridiculous meets going on and stuff like that.
Oh, just leaving your driveway sometimes with a modified car and you'll get slapped with 5 tickets just because you're part of that community. But they group us all together. I mean, Toronto created its own task force for shutting down street racers called E-Race.
Yeah.
I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I know that they created their own task force just to shut down street racers. And it's like it's Toronto. We're not in the middle of LA. It's like that's a Fast and Furious type thing, and they created a task force because of the takeovers. And there's not even a lot of people that are like supportive of takeovers. There's a couple idiots.
Yeah.
But but back to my point, takeovers is bad, but I've been to a show where they had them in like a back of a closed down warehouse, and they had people sliding their BMWs or sliding their Chargers, and everyone remained a safe distance. Nobody got super close to the driver. Nobody got super close. And some people just went to like practice on dry surface.
Yeah.
Just to have fun and to make it look good. And when it was done, it was done. Everyone went home. It was fine. So I think within reason, if you're gonna be stupid like that, there's a time and a place.
Well, it's not only that, because things like what you're describing, these little meets for sliding or whatnot, have been happening since 240s have been around. Or even I remember at one of my co-ops when I was a high school student, my warehouse manager, he was a car guy in his youth, and he's like, oh yeah, I had an 886, original Toyota Corolla.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, I used to go to back of lots and just slide them around. And I think the big thing that ruined is social media, because these people are cool because look, they're sliding. I want to do that. I can do that. Anyone can do that, right? And they just do it for clout. Whereas back then it used to be very quiet. Enthusiasts would just be word of mouth, and it would just be people that actually enjoyed cars, and they do it for a bit, make sure the spot's not heat, leave, and come back, another time.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like daily, every day, new spot, takeovers here, takeovers there.
It's kind of like the Midnight Club, actually, based out of Tokyo, when they just created with drivers that actually knew how to drive, that would go around and drive at night, but they would do it in an illegal way, and nobody ever cared until people started making it a big thing.
Yeah.
We can go into that another point, but the moral of the story here is, first of all, don't do takeovers because it makes the car community look bad.
Yes.
And second, if you're going to be stupid, if you're going to commit a crime, if you're going to go have fun sliding your car, don't record it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're breaking the law, and you're making all of the car community to look bad because you just want people to be like, oh, sick whip, bro. Like, who cares? Like, just if you want to go have fun, then go have fun. But don't make everybody look bad on social media, and don't do it in public.
Yeah.
Like,
and I you know what? I think we can segue to something else. Is we can segue back to making fun of the takeover kids.
yeah.
Because I've seen this in LA. I've seen this in Toronto. Like, these kids go to takeovers. They wreck their car, and then they
destroy it.
They post
control arm, boom, bye.
Like, yeah, they crash into something, ruin their car, and then they post a GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, those are funny. Actually,
and then
we had somebody do that recently. The gold BMW. He crashed his car right after the meet. He posted. I don't think he posted a GoFundMe, but he posted a part out right away.
Oh my god!
Like, instantly, like the day. I was like, it's like that's the problem, man. You're gonna ruin your cars and then
going back to that, he did that solely for clout because everyone heard it, right? He did a pass, and there was some guy taking a video, and he's like, "Oh, did you catch that?" And he's like, "No, man, like I wasn't recording, right?" He's like, "Oh, I'll go again. Like he wanted the clout,
and it was raining,
and he didn't know how to drive,
was slippery,
and it was a DCT.
He just had too much power under his.
It was a beautiful car too.
It was so nice.
I'm a big M4 guy, right? Yeah. Like obviously, I'm still a 4-door guy. Like I like the M3 personally, like F80. But I would not like if I had to pick between the two, and like let's say it was the same price, I would definitely be like, oh man, I don't know which one I would pick, right? Obviously, I'd go for the one that's a little bit cheaper, blah blah blah. But typically, the M3s are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I'd probably end up with an M4. So I'm just saying that in case I do end up with one and someone's like, "Oh, you said you'd get an M3." No. They're the same.
We'll hold you on to it.
But between the M3 and M4, like we said, you can hold me to it if you want, but
I'm gonna.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I even end up buying one. I have too many cars as of current anyways.
Yeah,
We need to do a shop update. New car reveal and just overall car update video.
Yeah.
Which Tony was a little bit sick this last week. We planned to film that, but now that Tony's going to be hopefully all better and not dead.
I was sick, and our BMW was going through some issues that we had to diagnose.
Yeah. Hopefully the Beamer's going to be all done. Hopefully tonight. Maybe I'll take some time to do it. I don't want to see here past 10. We have
an early photo shoot tomorrow to do for
our new t-shirts.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like people ask, like when do we record these podcasts and stuff? Pretty late usually. We've had not that late is the plan, but we typically meet with our guests around 6 p.m. So it works out because some people do want to be on the podcast. They're like, "Oh, I have no time. I work till like 5." It's like, come by after work. We have lunch together. We have like a snack or like dinner together, I guess.
Lunch at 7:00.
Yeah, like more like dinner. Like our days are a little all over the place, mine and Tony's. So our lunch and dinners are all over the place. And then we have the podcast. We typically spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and then we hang out for a bit, and everyone goes home. So our guests are usually out of here by 9, 10 the latest, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think Greg was one of the latest people that was here for our podcast.
That was a late one.
Yeah. Alex was here pretty late, but that's me and him hung out for a bit after. I'm pretty sure, and other things. So we welcome you. Like Greg wanted to be on the podcast. He was on the podcast. We still need the last Pona, so we need the trio.
We're always looking for more people. If you have a special story about your car, you have a special build that not many people have, like the Audi Allroad,
or if you're a great storyteller, just like Mr.
Or
Pona.
If you're a good storyteller, that really gets people's attention. So
especially for our Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners, I didn't realize that a lot of people just listen to the podcast, right? So
I would hope so. It's a podcast.
Yeah,
we only do the visual representation,
but we have the most views on the visual one, right? So that's why I'm so surprised, because so many people are like, I listen to it on my drive to work or other stuff, and I'm like, do you just play the YouTube video?
Maybe they just listen to it on YouTube. Yeah. If you have YouTube Premium, you can actually
close the app and stuff.
You know how everyone was so excited about. YouTube's never going to release the lock and let videos still play.
They did.
Well, if you have YouTube Premium, you can do that. It's so sick. I did that one time and I was like, finally, I've been waiting 10 years for this. Like,
And that used to be a normal feature on the iPhone, which is crazy.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh,
Up until
they got rid of it?
They did. Because the
Snakes.
YouTube app used to be built into the iPhone.
Oh,
You didn't even have to
okay.
download it. It was one of the best apps. No ads, no nothing back then too.
Yeah.
So
I think you can't really delete it anymore on most phones because it's built into Google.
Androids? Oh yeah, Google. Yeah. On an iPhone, you have to download it, obviously. No,
Anyways,
but-
so we're looking for more people for our podcast, and because we seem to be lacking individuals sometimes or lacking guests, it is a complication to come up with topics. So if you want something to be spoken about, maybe you want to hear our opinion on things, put them in the comments. We'd love to hear, and we'll go into detail. We can't promise it, but it'd be nice to have some extra ideas to go off.
Yeah,
of, for
because
sure.
topics that we discuss may not be what others want to listen to. So we're
Yeah.
always open. Like me and Tony have a plethora of ideas, but it's the question of: are you interested
Do
in
you
hearing
want
that?
it? Yeah. Do you want to
Do
listen
you
to
want
it?
this? Right.
Yeah.
So, are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
And we're pretty sure that we're gonna end podcast 11 right here.
Yeah.
And we'll hope that you stay tuned for episode 12 in the coming
12.
weeks or so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Like we said, visit partsavatar.ca for all your automotive parts needs. Check out our new t-shirts at partsavatar.ca/apparel. And we will see you in the next episode or next video.
I started
Thank you
the
so
wave.
much.
I started the wave too early.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Remember, Parts Avatar has got your back, so don't forget to subscribe to the Parts Avatar channel so you don't miss any of these exciting videos.